All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Chapter 1 lecture. These lectures are for you guys to hear me ramble on a little bit about all this good stuff that I'm giving you, and so you don't have to stare at a computer screen and just read text the whole time. So, let's get it rolling without further ado, and let's just talk about what money is. So, what is money? It is cotton and linen, or linen and cotton, one or more on the other end. But the reason why it's not just paper is this way, when it gets wet, it's durable and doesn't just fall apart. But what actually is money? It is a medium of exchange of value. A medium of exchange of value. So what does that mean in easy terms? We trade money for value. We trade money for things that we want. All right. So money has value really only because we all say it does. Okay. We all agreed, hey, this has value. And if I want something you have, I'm going to trade you this money, this linen and cotton. This way I don't have to kill you and just take it. Nah, seriously, like money is there, so we just don't kill each other and just take stuff from people, all right? Try to, separate us humans from the animals. And yeah, so money was literally made so we just don't kill each other and beat each other up and take each other's stuff, all right? So money holds value, but it actually loses value over time, and we're gonna get into that. But yes, money is an exchange of value used in transactions all over the world. So whenever you wanna buy something, you're gonna be able to trade money for it immediately, and it's gonna be able to be accepted anywhere, especially if it's the US dollar, because we're the reserve currency of the world. Meaning that people have to take their money and turn it into US dollars to make trades and stuff like that, yada yada. Doesn't really matter, okay? Doesn't really matter. But the US dollar is the global reserve currency of the world. So what else is money? Money is an asset. So those of you that don't know what an asset is, and it's totally okay if you don't. An asset is something that makes you money. Okay, it brings money into your pocket. And I might as well go over liabilities also. Liabilities are something that takes money out of your pocket. Could be monthly, yearly, daily, whatever. A liability is taking money from you. An asset is bringing money in, or is worth money and is going to go up in value over time, allowing you to sell it in the future for more money. But like I said, circling back to money, money is an asset. Okay, so you might say okay, well, if money is an asset, how does money make me money? Great question, and I'll answer for you right now. You're supposed to invest your money, okay? You have to invest your money, and we're gonna get into that. But that's how money is an asset. You can invest your money into other assets, into other things that make you money, and make more money, okay? So, to make it real easy, money is an asset because we can use money to make more money. Assets put money in your pocket. So yes, money is an asset. So now that we know money is an asset, we're going to talk about something called liquidity, okay? Money is the most liquid asset. So liquidity or liquid, think of water, flows like water, moves fast, whatever, I don't know. Whatever is going to get you to wrap your head around the fact that money is the most liquid asset, which means it is the asset that you can use immediately, the quickest, easiest way you can immediately trade money for something that you want, for anything that you want at any time, all right? Meaning it's the most liquid. The reason I'm bringing this up is there's a lot of assets, okay? Your home, if you own a home, or maybe your parents own a home, you're a little younger, a home is an asset, all right, for example. But I can't take my home and trade it immediately for something that I want. Say I want an RV. I want to go buy a camper and I want to live on the road. I can't just go to walk in the RV shop and be like, hey, I'll trade you my house and I'll take one of these. We're good, right? All right, cool. Let's sign the papers. No, it doesn't work like that. A home is money, okay? Or a home is an asset, okay? It's worth more money over time, but it's not very liquid. You have to sell it and turn it into cash, the most liquid asset, to then go use that cash in a transaction to buy or trade for value, to trade for what you want. So yeah, I can't go to an RV shop and just trade my house and walk out with an RV. I have to sell my house, get cash, then I can go buy the RV and walk out. So the reason I'm telling you this is because money is the most liquid asset. So the word cash and money can be coins, it can be paper cash, physical, or it can be numbers in your bank account, all right? It can be a couple different things, all right? So cash is actually the most liquid form of money. Cash is the most liquid asset because it can immediately be handed to somebody and traded. But I guess, number value money, like the money in your bank account, because if you didn't know, all the money in the world is not actually dollars and paper and coins. Okay, a lot of it is just numbers. Okay, it's just a numbers game. So if you didn't know that, learn something new every day, right? But yeah, cash is the physical form of money, and it's the most liquid asset. Okay, so all right, so let's talk about money and gold. I don't want to dive super into this. You guys can Google it and read about it. It's just a little backstory. So money was basically created because, originally people were finding gold and they were holding on to gold and they were using gold to trade. Okay, that was the value. But what happened was people came along, institutions, which are known as banks now, financial institutions, they came along and they saw what was going on. They said, hey, we'll give you this receipt and we'll hold on to your gold. You can come back, trade us the receipt, we'll give you the gold whenever you want. So people started doing that because they could go trade these receipts a lot faster, okay? They could trade these receipts a lot easier and quicker than trading gold. Because think, what are you going to sit there and saw a piece of gold in half or something to trade it? Like, it's not very liquid, okay? If I have a block of gold and I owe you 0.1 blocks, okay, it's not like I can give you, it's not like I can just pull some change out or, some pieces. Like, I have to, saw that off or melt it down or do some crazy stuff, okay? So gold was not a very liquid asset, okay? Hard to trade immediately. So they developed receipts. So that's where, this whole idea of money is backed by gold, that's where that comes from. But that's totally outdated and not a thing anymore, okay? So now gold in the US dollar, there used to be this thing called the gold standard, and I mentioned that in the chapters. That's junk, it's not a thing either. So let's just talk about the US dollar. Here is our US dollar. All right. So let's talk about our US dollar. We'll put a little stick figure guy there because why not? Who cares? But here's our US dollar. Let's talk about the US dollar versus gold. Here's my little potato piece of gold or whatever, okay? So let's talk about the relationship between these two. And this will help you. You can use this actually if, eventually you're going to know you have to invest. We're going to get to that. But you can actually use this knowledge to make some sound investments, okay? So understand that there is an inverse relationship between gold and the US dollar. So what does that mean? So that means in a strong economy, when the US dollar is doing well, when the US economy is doing well, the value, okay, the worth of the dollar is going to go up. The dollar value goes up. Well, the value of gold in turn is going to go down. That's what an inverse relationship means. Opposite, okay? So this is inverse relationship between these two, all right? Also, this relationship flip-flops. So when the US dollar is going down, gold will be going up. So if you see the economy has been strong for a while and it's starting to look shaky, people are a little scared, the sentiment's not that great, it might be a good idea to take your value out of the US dollar and put it over here into gold, and vice versa. When you see the economy's been doing bad for a while, like it kind of has recently, we're in June of 2023, it's starting to reverse. If you have money in gold, be a good time maybe to put it in the US dollar or just in the stock market itself. So that's money and gold. All right, and to wrap up our little part on money and gold, the reason that money is not tied to gold is because there's something that, there's monetary policy, long story short, okay? Where the government, well, really the Fed, the Federal Reserve, which is the central bank of the United States, they are in charge of controlling, how fast the economy is growing. They're supposed to control inflation, okay? And we'll talk about inflation in a little bit. But they're supposed to control inflation. So what they do is they pull money out of the economy or they push money into the economy. And they do that by selling bonds, okay? When they sell bonds and people buy them, people buy the bonds, which takes the money and puts it in the Federal Reserve. When the Federal Reserve starts buying bonds back, they're taking money and putting it back into the economy, and that will let the economy grow. Well, the Federal Reserve can't print a bunch of money and buy a bunch of bonds and do all this stuff if the US dollar is directly tied to gold, because it would have to, there'd have to be a certain amount. So basically, money is not tied to gold because when economies are doing super bad, the country and the government, they can't inflate the country's economy because the money's tied to gold. So that's why they got rid of that. So they can falsely inflate the economy, make themselves look more powerful and like you're doing better, so the public are not freaking out. But yeah, money and gold, not tied together. All right, so I want to conclude all this and wrap this chapter on money up for you real simply and easily. So you have two options when it comes to money. And I'm going to tell you them right now. I want you to think. If you could write down, you got paper, pen, whatever, write down the two things that you think you can do with money, or the two things that you think money is for. I'll give you a couple seconds. Tick tock, tick tock. It's ugly too. All right, so your two options. Option number one, most people do this. People are very good at doing this. You can spend your money. That's option one. Option two, this is my favorite option, and it's going to be your favorite option when this entire course is done. Invest. We can invest our money. You can spend or invest your money. Those are your two options. Now, I have a feeling some of you might have written down another option, and that option was probably saving, okay? But I'll tell you that this is not an option, okay? Saving your money, you might have thought it is, but it is not an option. The reason it is not an option is because money is an asset, but it is basically like the only asset that actually is continuously and consistently and will guaranteed lose its value over time. And we're going to go over that in the next chapter. But for example, on why these are your two options and saving is not an option. So here's my dollar bill. I'm just going to sit it there, whatever. So ignore that dollar bill, actually. Pretend I just smacked some money right here. I put, 10 grand right there. I got $10,000 sitting there. Well, there's a couple things that are going to happen, okay? And none of them are good. So, number one, I got a dog. She might come, start chewing on it, eating it, destroying it. Maybe my cat will scratch at it and pee on it. I don't know. It's going to get messed up. Two, this roof could start leaking. And now my money's all withered and covered in, wet drywall and ceiling and whatever. Now it's all messed up and I got to freaking do whatever. The house catches on fire. That could happen. Now I'm really shit out of luck, okay? Because now my money is on fire and gone, okay? So as you can see, saving money really doesn't do much for you, okay? In fact, the only thing saving money does is guaranteed that you lose money in the long term. And we're going to go over exactly that in the next lesson. So I'll see you next time, guys.